Welcome to Computer World Terminologies and Concepts. In this video, we explore two fundamental file transfer protocols used across networks every day. File Transfer Protocol, commonly known as FTP, and Secure File Transfer Protocol, known as SFTP. Understanding these protocols is essential for anyone working with file transfers, web servers, or network administration. Throughout this video, we'll break down what these protocols are, how they differ, their security features, and when to use each one. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. It is a standard network protocol that allows computers to transfer files between each other over TCP-based networks. FTP operates on a client-server architecture, meaning you need an FTP client on one computer and an FTP server on another. The key feature of FTP is that it uses two separate connections, one command channel and one data channel. The command channel communicates on port 21, while the data channel operates on port 20. This dual-channel system was designed to separate control commands from the actual file data being transferred. Let's compare these two protocols side by side. In terms of security, FTP provides no encryption at all. Your data travels in plain text, while SFTP uses SSH encryption to secure everything. For ports, FTP requires two separate ports, port 21 and port 20. SFTP only uses a single port, port 22. When it comes to authentication, FTP offers optional and plain text authentication. SFTP requires authentication and keeps it encrypted. FTP uses two channels for communication, while SFTP uses just one unified channel. Finally, FTP is faster because there's no encryption overhead, while SFTP is slower due to encryption processing. However, this trade-off is worth it for security. SFTP provides multiple layers of security. First, it uses SSH encryption, which encrypts all your data and commands using industry-standard algorithms like AES, with strength up to 256 bits. This means your information cannot be read even if intercepted. Second, SFTP supports key-based authentication using public and private keys, along with password authentication options. This is much stronger than FTP's simple username-password approach. Third, SFTP includes integrity checks using cryptographic hash functions. These verify that your data hasn't been tampered with or corrupted during transfer. Finally, SFTP verifies the server's identity before connecting. This prevents man-in-the-middle attacks where someone could pretend to be your server and steal your information. FTP has significant weaknesses. Data is sent in plain text, making it vulnerable to interception. Your credentials are also unencrypted, so anyone monitoring the network can steal your username and password. Multiple open ports create additional security vulnerabilities. With no host verification, you cannot confirm you're connecting to the legitimate server. For these reasons, FTP is only suitable for legacy systems. SFTP solves all these problems. It provides complete SSH encryption protecting all communications. It uses secure authentication with encrypted credentials and key-based options. All data has integrity checks. SFTP verifies host identity automatically. It operates through a single secure port, and SFTP is the industry standard today, supported by all modern systems. In summary, SFTP is the clear choice for any modern file transfer scenario. Understanding how these protocols work internally is important. FTP uses a dual-channel system. The client and server communicate with a command channel on port 21, and all file data goes through a separate data channel on port 20. This dual-channel design creates multiple firewall configuration issues because the data port can vary depending on whether you're using active or passive mode. SFTP operates completely differently. It establishes a single SSH tunnel on port 22. All traffic, whether commands or data, travels through this one encrypted connection. This single-channel design is much simpler to configure and far more firewall-friendly. You only need to open port 22 on your firewall. With FTP, you might need to open additional ports and configure complex firewall rules. So when should you use each protocol? FTP has limited modern use cases. It remains compatible with very old legacy systems that don't support SFTP. FTP is fastest when you need maximum speed with no encryption overhead. However, it should only be used for non-sensitive data like public images or documents, and it should only be used on internal networks you fully trust. SFTP is the choice for sensitive file transfers such as financial documents, personal information, or website configuration files containing passwords. SFTP is required for compliance with security standards and regulations. It is necessary for sharing files over the internet or untrusted networks. And SFTP should be used for any business-critical data that you cannot afford to have compromised. In summary, if you're transferring any important information today, SFTP is the only responsible choice. Let's discuss the practical differences between these protocols. Regarding speed, FTP is the fastest option because there is no encryption overhead. The setup for FTP is simple and straightforward with minimal configuration needed. FTP has wide support in legacy systems dating back decades. FTP uses multiple ports, which can require complex firewall management. On the performance side, SFTP is moderate in speed. The encryption processing adds overhead, but modern computers handle this easily. SFTP setup requires configuring SSH, which takes more effort than FTP. However, SFTP support is now standard on all modern systems including Windows, Mac, and Linux. SFTP requires only a single port, port 22, making firewall configurations simple and straightforward. In practice, the performance difference between these protocols is negligible for most users today, making SFTP the sensible choice. Let's review the essential points you should remember. FTP has significant limitations. It transmits data completely unencrypted in plain text. Your credentials are visible to anyone monitoring the network. Multiple open ports create firewall vulnerabilities. There is no host verification, so you cannot confirm the server's identity. FTP should only be used for legacy systems that cannot support SFTP. SFTP, on the other hand, provides complete SSH encryption for all communications. It uses strong authentication with encrypted credentials and key-based options. It performs data integrity checks to prevent tampering. It verifies the server's identity automatically before connecting. Most importantly, SFTP is the industry standard used everywhere today. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Always choose SFTP over FTP for any file transfers involving important information. SFTP is more secure, equally practical, and now universally supported.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.